Thank you everyone for coming today. My name is Michael Guido. I'm the CEO of Kinetech Cloud. Today we're going to be talking about the digital transformation that Kinetech, in very close coordination with the state of Michigan, underwent using the Mendix Low-Code platform to help distribute over $700 million in COVID relief funds. I'm joined today by Mark Whitaker, who's the Director of IT Solutions for Michigan State Housing Development Authority, as well as Chris Schultz, who is an integration specialist and worked very closely with our team to deploy this application at scale. I'd like to introduce Mark, and we'll take it from here.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So, where it all began. Late December of 2020, Congress passed, it's called Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021. Within this act, they allotted $25 billion for the Federal Emergency Rental Assistance Program. And with that, that really did give MSHDA some dilemmas. And MSHDA is Michigan State Housing Development Authority. Within that $25 billion, Michigan was awarded $622 million to distribute to its citizens that were in need due to the COVID pandemic. However, this created a problem because they wanted us to make sure we allocated 65% before the end of September of 2021. So that gives an extremely short runway to really move forward with this. So this really did set the stage of, okay, what is it that we're going to need? What is it that MSHDA needed? So within that, through discussions and trying to do some analysis, some things really boiled up to the top. First is that we needed to have a portal to take in applications from tenants. And this portal needed to be able to be mobile friendly. Because as we know, the world's changing. We're not just using laptops and computers and desktops. A lot of things are done through the mobile phone. So it was really important to make this as accessible to everyone, all the Michigan residents. Secondly, it had to be user-friendly. We needed something that we wouldn't get a lot of support calls coming in. That was one of our concerns. We don't want to see a ton of calls coming in. How do I do this application? So we really wanted to make something very user-friendly. On top of that, we also wanted to make sure that we would be able to get something, have another side of this portal to where we could process the applications. Because on top of this, we have 80 plus organizations assisting us in reviewing these applications. And so they're going to help ensure that we obligate the 65% in time. So really and truly, that leads to the last one, which is we needed to select a vendor. And that vendor needed to do something really as fast as possible to get us up to speed so we can start moving forward. And through that, and through the procurement process the state of Michigan has, we did select Kinetech to do that. And once we did do that selection, that of course created a bunch of more challenges, especially some on Kinetech's side that I'll hand it over to Michael and he can start discussing.
Sure, thanks Mark. So just to give you a quick set of scale and to talk a little bit about the challenges. So we needed a mobile first application. So for you guys, when you're thinking about what is a good use case for Mendix for my business, it's extending an existing application or integrating existing data to another system. So it plays very friendly with those systems. Some of the things through conversations with Mark and Chris that became very apparent was that we need an application that will work across device types and operating systems. So iOS, Android, Windows, Chrome, Safari, Internet Explorer. But we only want to design one application and deploy it across all of those device types and functions. An obvious benefit of that is you maintain one code base, but have support for all of your customers. Again, because it's a web-based application, you can update it and deploy it to everyone having an updated version at the same time, rather than having to manage an iOS app, an Android app, a Windows app. So that's a big piece. The 3 operating systems supported, being live in a short period of time, 30 days. One of the innovations we did and working very closely with Mark and his team was it became clear when you're thinking about, implementing a Mendix solution, if you are going down that path, we recommend breaking up the project into very manageable chunks. So for us, it was intake, so how does an applicant apply? Processing, how do the caseworkers process? And then payment, how do we get it paid? And by breaking up the delivery into those functions, we had the development teams working in parallel so that we could release the applications in pieces. So for the folks who are thinking about, Mendix as an infrastructure, as a microservice architecture, it absolutely supports that. So Chris is going to walk us through the first set of challenges.
As you've heard, we had to rapidly deploy a portal facing to our customers that they're going to be able to get in there and use, something they've never seen before when it's in the most time of need, when they're afraid of losing their housing. So when we talk about something user-friendly, it really had to be intuitive, that it actually walked them through the application. And there's a couple screens in here where you'll see kind of like a checklist, and that's what that did for them. So it pointed them in that direction. We needed these things before they could move forward. Also, we say we needed something in 30 days. When you see the timeline, I think we beat that 30 days technically, but that's the fastest I've seen something like this spun up.
So the results, and we're very proud of this. We were able, as you can see from the graph, it's night and day from when we started to where it ended up. We achieved, and then some, the goals of getting the obligation in September of 2021. And as you can see, it just today, we're actually over $700 million. And that's all due to us being able to get these applications processed and the efficiency that we've created.
So the ultimate result was, from the time we started until now, we launched a cloud-native, multi-tenant, mobile-first, responsive web application. It's a mouthful that helped Michigan and Michigan residents get access to federal funds and be among the top performing in the state, in the country. Excuse me.
I will have to say that when we were going into this, we were doing a lot of research and analysis, and looking at low-code, we really felt that this was going to be the best avenue to get what we needed as quick as possible, and it paid off, because the things that we're not discussing here are all the other requests that we threw at them that we needed, and that's totally glossed over, because there is a mountain of things that were changes from where we really started. But that's the beauty of what Mendix was able to do with the low-code is be able to give us those things at a really quick pace. So I know my testing team was driven crazy from all the changes and all the testing, but ultimately the results speak for themselves.